There is a woman out there right now, smart, beautiful, emotionally aware, and she is slowly, invisibly, almost against her own will, pulling away from a man who would do absolutely anything for her, and moving closer to a man who doesn't seem to need her at all. Most dating advice will tell you that's a contradiction, that women want love, care, consistency, and they're not wrong, but they're only showing you half the picture, the half that sounds nice, the half that makes sense on paper. They never tell you about the other half, the raw, unfiltered, instinctive half that lives underneath everything she says, underneath everything she even consciously thinks she wants. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. This isn't a video about being cold. It's not about being distant or unavailable or building fake mystery by ignoring her texts. Forget everything you've seen about that. This is about something much deeper, something biological, something her nervous system is doing right now in every interaction she has with every man in her life, and almost no man alive can see it happening. By the end of this video, you will understand why women are unconsciously drawn to men who don't need saving. You'll understand what that actually means, why it works at a primal level, and what you can do, starting today, to embody it without becoming someone you're not. But there's one piece of this, the final filter, that most men never reach. I'm saving that for the end. And once you hear it, it will reframe every relationship you've ever had. Stay with me. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Think about the last time you really liked a woman. Not casually interested, actually liked her. What happened to you? If you're honest, and I want you to be honest right now because that's the only way this works, what happened is that some version of you began to disappear. You started editing yourself, checking your phone more, saying yes when you meant something else, showing up softer, quieter, more available, more eager to please. You were managing her mood. You were monitoring her reactions. You were tracking in real time whether she seemed happy with you. And every time she seemed slightly off, slightly distant, slightly less warm than the day before, something in you scrambled to fix it. That's not love, brother. That's anxiety wearing the costume of love. And here's the thing no one tells you. She felt it. She felt every single bit of it. Not consciously. She probably couldn't have named it. But her subconscious nervous system registered it the way a compass registers north. It told her, clearly, without words, this man is not stable. This man is looking to me to regulate himself. This man, if I needed him when things got hard, would crumble. That's the chaos filter. And it's running in her quietly all the time. Studies on attachment and emotional regulation show that humans, and women in particular, given their evolutionary role as the ones who had to choose wisely, are biologically wired to assess emotional stability in potential partners with extraordinary precision. Her nervous system is not looking for perfection. It's not looking for wealth or status alone. It's scanning for one specific thing. Does this man have a stable internal world that does not depend on me to maintain it? If the answer is yes, something opens in her, slowly, but it opens. If the answer is no, even if she loves you, even if she's attracted to you, something closes. And she often can't explain why. She says things like, I don't know, I just feel suffocated, or something feels off. Or the most devastating one, you're amazing, but I don't feel that connection. The connection she's describing isn't emotional distance. It's the absence of masculine presence. The absence of a man whose inner world holds steady regardless of her weather. Let's break this down. Because there are levels to this, and most men only ever reach the first one. Level 1 is what I'd call the performance of strength. This is where most men start when they first hear this idea. They stop texting as much. They say no more often. They try to seem busy. They manufacture distance. And sometimes it works for a little while, because even a surface-level signal of non-neediness can trigger that initial pull in her. But it's hollow. She can feel the gap between what you're showing and what's actually happening underneath. Her nervous system is not fooled by behavior alone. It's reading your energy, your micro-expressions, the slight tension in your voice when she takes a little longer to reply. Level 1 is a costume, and costumes eventually come off. Level 2 is where things start to get real. This is when a man has an actual life, things that genuinely matter to him, things he would protect even if she asked him to give them up. His work, his friendships, his creative outlet, his physical discipline, not as tools to seem impressive, but as the real architecture of who he is. When a woman encounters a man who has this, she feels something she almost never feels. She feels like she is not the entire world to him, and paradoxically, that is when she wants to become more of his world. It's not logical, it's chemical. It's the primal response to encountering a complete person rather than a man-shaped need. But there is an open loop I want you to hold right now. Something that bridges level 2 and the final level. Because having a life and having stability are not the same thing. And you can have all of it. The purpose, the discipline, the clear boundaries, and still fail the chaos filter. Still have her feel that unease she can't explain. The reason why is something I'll come to at the end of this video, and it changes everything. For now, level 3. Level 3 is what I call internal gravity. This is not something you build overnight. It's not a habit or a technique. It's a quality that develops in a man over time when he has repeatedly chosen his own values over his own comfort. When he has walked through difficult things without falling apart and without performing how well he handled them. When he has learned, truly learned, the difference between what he feels and who he is. His feelings move through him like weather, but he is the ground, not the storm. When a woman encounters a man with internal gravity, something extraordinary happens. She stops testing. You've heard about the tests women run, brother, and they're real. They're not games and they're not cruelty. They are her nervous system doing its job, probing for cracks in the foundation. Every small test, the mood shift, the sudden withdrawal, the provocative comment, the emotional spike, is asking one question. Are you still in there? Are you the same man whether I'm being warm or cold? Whether I'm adoring you or pushing you away? A man at level 3 doesn't react to the test because he barely perceives it as a test. He's not monitoring for shifts in her approval. He's not bracing for her storms. He's present, warm even, but unthreatened. And that specific combination, warmth without need, presence without dependence, is one of the most powerful signals a man can send to a woman's subconscious. It says, I am safe. Not safe in a passive, soft way, safe in the way a mountain is safe, solid, immovable, something you can lean on without worrying that your weight will break it. I want to tell you something personal here because I think it matters. I spent years being the man at level 1, sometimes barely even that. I had feelings for someone, genuinely cared about her, and I made the classic mistake. I made my emotional stability entirely contingent on how she was feeling about me that day. When she was warm, I was light. When she was distant, I spiraled. And I managed it perfectly on the outside. She probably didn't even know how much I was tracking her. But her nervous system knew. And slowly, gradually, without drama or anger, she found her way toward a man who didn't seem to need anything from her. Not because he was cold, not because he was unavailable, but because he had a settled quality, a quiet confidence that communicated one silent but devastating message. I am complete whether you choose me or not. That was the day I understood the chaos filter. Because chaos, internal chaos, the anxiety and need and performance, is readable. It's invisible, but it's readable. Women don't need to see it. They feel it. And when they feel it, whatever attraction may have been building starts to erode, silently, and often irreversibly. Now here's something that the pseudo-strength crowd will never tell you. And this is where the real depth of this topic lives. The man who doesn't need saving is not a man who has no wounds. He's not unfeeling. He's not emotionally sealed off. In fact, and this is neurologically real, women are extraordinarily sensitive to emotional authenticity. They can detect performed strength the way a dog detects fear. The man who walks around pretending nothing touches him, nothing matters, nothing moves him, that man also fails the chaos filter. Because behind his stone face, she feels the same instability, just in a different costume. The man who passes is the man who feels things and is not destroyed by them, who is open about what moves him without leaking that movement as need. who can sit in her storm without trying to fix it, without withdrawing from it, without turning it into something about him. His nervous system says, I can hold space for your chaos because I'm not living inside my own. That is the sacred difference. And most men spend their entire lives on the wrong side of it. Let's talk about what this looks like in the real world, because theory is only half the value. When she pulls away suddenly, and she will, it's not personal, it's the test. The man at level 1 panics and reaches. He sends the message. He looks for the reason. He needs to solve it. The man at level 3 notices, feels the pull in his chest, and turns back to his life, not as a tactic. Because his life is genuinely there, genuinely important, genuinely calling. And when she comes back, and she will, he receives her with warmth, with presence, with no scorekeeping. That moment, that specific moment of warm non-reactivity after her distance, lands in her nervous system like a confirmation of everything she was testing for. It says, you are safe with this man. He will not lose himself. He will not lose me. When she challenges you, something provocative, something designed to see if you'll bend or collapse or scramble, the man at level 3 doesn't take the bait, and he doesn't harden. He smiles, maybe. He's clear. He doesn't explain himself 3 times or over-justify or build a case. He says what's true, once, with warmth and without apology, and he moves on. That economy of self-expression is something her subconscious reads as profound security. It says, this man knows who he is. He doesn't need my approval to remain himself. And when things are good, when she's giving you all of her, when the emotional surrender is happening, when she's opening layer by layer, the man at level 3 receives it fully, stays present, stays warm. But he does not collapse into it. He does not suddenly become only her. Because a man who disappears into a relationship the moment it's going well has revealed that his self was always conditional, contingent on how the love was going. And a woman can feel that disappearance. It frightens her. Not because she doesn't want closeness, she does desperately, but because she wants closeness with a person, not an echo of herself. Now, the final piece, the one I promised. The real reason the chaos filter exists, the biological, primal reason that women are unconsciously drawn to men who don't need saving, is not about dominance. It's not about strength as a performance of invulnerability. At the deepest level, it's about this. A woman's nervous system is looking for evidence that if she lets herself be fully known by you, fully seen, fully held, she will not be the one who has to hold you up in the process. That's what this is really about, brother. Emotional sustainability. She is not testing you because she wants to find your weakness and leave. She is testing you because she is asking, with every interaction, with every probe and push and silent withdrawal, if I bring you all of me, my fear, my darkness, my needs, my full weight, will you still be standing? Will you still be here, steady, complete, not destroyed by what I've given you? That is the deepest question any woman ever asks a man, and almost no man ever answers it correctly. Not because they're weak, but because no one ever told them that the answer isn't spoken. It isn't proven once in some dramatic moment of resolve. It is lived, slowly, over time. In the 10,000 ordinary moments when you chose to stay grounded when you could have reached, chose to stay warm when you could have hardened, chose to return to yourself when you could have lost yourself entirely in her. The chaos filter is not about being hard to get. It's not about being mysterious or cold or unavailable. It's about being genuinely, deeply rooted in who you are. So rooted that her love becomes something you receive with open hands rather than clutch with desperate ones. And when she feels that, when her body, her nervous system, her subconscious registers a man who can hold her without needing her to hold him, the emotional surrender that follows is unlike anything you've ever seen. It's not just attraction, it's trust at a cellular level. It's the kind of connection where she will tell you things she has never said out loud, where her walls come down not because you broke them, but because she finally felt safe enough to open the door herself. That is what we're after, brother. Not the game, not the distance, not the performance, the real thing. The grounded, present, full-hearted version of you. That's the man who passes every filter she runs. If this hit something real for you, do me a favor. Like this video, not for the number, but so more men find their way to this truth. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Because next we're talking about the emotional surrender itself. The specific moment when a woman decides, below the level of thought, that you are the one man she will allow fully inside her world. That moment has a shape, it has signs, and almost no man ever recognizes it when it's happening. Don't miss it.